Syracuse, 387 BC. A man stands on an auction block, hands bound, head down. Around him, buyers inspect teeth, shoulders, eyes. He is 50 years old. He has spent his entire life thinking about justice, about the perfect society, about what it means to be truly free. His name is Plato, the greatest philosopher who ever lived, being sold into slavery. This is not a metaphor. This happened. And the question worth asking is not how he ended up here. The question is what he saw that made powerful men want him silenced. Athens, 399 BC. Plato is 28 years old when the city kills his teacher. He doesn't watch the execution. He is sick that day, or so the accounts say. Some historians believe he simply could not bear it. Socrates drinks the hemlock at sunset.
The hour has come. I drink to what must be. Be still, my path is set. Honor it with courage.
By morning, Plato has left Athens. He will not return for 12 years. What he carries with him is not grief. Grief fades. What he carries is a question that will not let him rest. How does a city that calls itself civilized kill the wisest man it ever produced? He walks through Egypt, through Italy, through Pythagoras' followers in the south. He watches governments rise and collapse. He watches men pursue wealth, power, pleasure, and call it a life. And somewhere along those roads, a thought begins to form. Not a political thought, something deeper. What if the world we see is not the real world? Imagine a cave. Inside, prisoners sit chained. They have been here since birth. They cannot turn their heads. All they can see is the wall in front of them. Behind them, a fire burns. Between the fire and the prisoners, people carry objects, status, figures, animals. The shadows of these objects fall onto the wall. The prisoners watch the shadows. They name them. They argue about them. They build entire philosophies around them. They believe the shadows are real because they have never seen anything else. Now imagine, one prisoner breaks free. He turns around. The fire blinds him. He stumbles out of the cave into sunlight, and for a moment he sees nothing. The light is too much, too real. But slowly, his eyes adjust. He sees trees, water, the sun itself. He understands, for the first time, that everything he believed was real was a shadow. And then he goes back, not because he has to, because he cannot leave the others in the dark. He descends into the cave and tells them what he saw. They don't believe him. They try to kill him. Plato wrote this story in the 4th century BC. He was writing about Socrates. He was writing about himself. He was writing about you. For years, Plato builds his philosophy in silence, the world of ideas, the realm where perfect forms exist, perfect justice, perfect beauty, perfect truth. Everything we see on earth is a copy, a shadow. The chair you sit on is an imperfect reflection of the ideal chair that exists beyond perception. Most philosophers stop here. They think, they write, they teach. Plato wants more. He wants to build it. In 388 BC, he travels to Syracuse, the most powerful Greek city in West. The ruler is Dionysius I, a man of enormous ambition. Plato believes he can turn him into a philosopher king. The conversations do not go well. Dionysius finds Plato arrogant, dangerous. A man who tells rulers they are living in a cave is not a comfortable dinner guest. He has Plato arrested and sold. On that auction block in Syracuse, a man named Aniceris recognizes him. pays 20 minas for his freedom, a small sum for a philosopher, an enormous sum for a slave. Plato returns to Athens. He never speaks publicly about what happened in that market, but he goes back to Syracuse twice more. The second time, the new ruler, Dionysius II, imprisons him again. 3 attempts, 3 failures. The perfect world refused to be built. (387 BC, Athens). Plato buys a garden on the outskirts of the city. He plants olive trees. He builds a small gymnasium. He places a statue of the Muses at the entrance. He calls it the Academy. For the next 40 years, he teaches. Not rulers, not kings, students, young minds who have not yet decided what the shadows on the wall mean. Among them, a 17-year-old boy from northern Greece arrives with sharp eyes and sharper questions. His name is Aristotle. He will study here for 20 years. He will eventually disagree with almost everything Plato believes. And that disagreement will produce the second greatest philosophical tradition in Western history. Plato builds no perfect city. He builds something that lasts longer. Plato dies at 80. Some say at a wedding feast, some say in his sleep, pen still in hand. He leaves behind 36 dialogues, hundreds of thousands of words. None of them are written in his own voice. Every single one is written as a conversation. Socrates speaking, questioning, pushing. The man who outlived his teacher by 50 years never stepped out of his shadow. Or perhaps he understood something we still struggle with. That truth doesn't belong to the one who speaks it. It belongs to the one who keeps the conversation alive. The prisoners in the cave did not want to be freed. They wanted better shadows. The question Plato left behind is not philosophical. It's personal. Which one are you?